Hello and welcome to this Excel tips video. I am Sumit Bansal and in this video I am going to show you how to sort names data based on the last name. Usually when you get the names data, it is the first name and the last name, or sometimes first, middle and last name. And when you sort this data, it happens based on the first name. But if you want to sort it based on the last name, you have to split these names into first and last name. And you can do that using a couple of methods. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to sort the data based on the last name. So let's get to it. So here I have these names, and if I sort this data as of now, it is going to sort it based on the first alphabet. So it sorts this based on the alphabets from left to right. But if I want to sort it based on the last name, then there is no way except to split these names into first and last name and then sort by last name. So in this video, I'm going to show you a couple of methods you can use to split these names into first and last name and then sort by last name. The first method that I'm going to show you is using find and replace. So I have this data, I'm going to copy this data and put it here because I don't want to lose the original data. And now everything I do, I'm going to do it on this copy data set. Now with this data selected, I'm going to use find and replace. So I would hold the control key and press the H key. And when I do that, it opens this find and replace dialog box. And here I need to somehow replace everything except the last name. So I'm going to use an asterisk sign here in find what field followed by a space character. So this is what I'm going to find, which means that I want to find the space character, the last space character, and any text before it. So in this case, it is going to find everything before the space character in each of these cells. And I'm going to replace it with nothing. So now when I click on replace all, see what happens? It is going to make all these replacements, all these first names are gone, and I'm only left with the last names. So this is one way of doing it. I'll show you a couple of other methods, but now that I have the last name, how do I sort this data? So I would select this entire data set. I would go to the data tab here and click on the sort button here. And in the sort dialog box, I would click on sort by, and here my criteria would be last name, values would be the sort on would be cell values, and the order would be A to Z or Z to A based on how you want to sort it. And now when I click on OK, you can see instantly I have this data sorted based on the last name. So this is how you can use find and replace. A good thing with find and replace is even if you have middle names or prefixes, this is going to work. As far as the last name is the last word in this cell, this method is going to work. Now let me show you another method, which is using text to columns. This method will only work if you have the first and the last name. If you have any or if you have consistent names. So if you have only first or last name in all the cells, or if you have the first, middle and last name. If you have data that is not consistent, then this method is not going to work. So in this method, I have selected this data and I'm going to use text to columns to split this into first and last name. So I would go to the data tab again, and here I have this text to columns option. So when I click on it, it opens the text to columns wizard, which has 3 steps. In the first step, I would have a delimited selected. I would click on next, and here I would have to select the delimiter, which would be space in this case, because I want to split this based on the space. In your case, if your names data has a comma, then you can also use that comma. Now you can see as soon as I click on space, it shows me in data preview that this is how it is going to split the data. Now when I click on next, goes to third step. Here I am going to select do not import column, and I would have this one already selected. If it is not, you can select this, which means that I don't want to get the first names. I only want to get the last names. So I'm skipping this column, and this is the destination cell. And as of now, the destination cell is A2. So if I go ahead and click on finish, this is going to replace my original data. But if I do not want that, which in this case I don't, I'm going to change the destination cell to B2 here. And now when I click on finish, see what happens? It instantly gives me these last names. Now again, to sort this, I would select this data, go to the data tab, click on sort by last name, A to Z, and click OK. And instantly I have this sorted names data. The third method that I'm going to show you is using a formula, and the benefit of using a formula as compared to find and replace or text to column is that the result is dynamic, which means that in case, let's say I add 10 more names to this list, I can simply copy and paste the formula and I would have the last name. But in text to column or find and replace, I would have to do that entire process again. I would have to select the data, find and replace everything, and then sort it. In formula, I simply drag the formula, the result gives me the last name, and then I simply sort it. Now, in this case, in formula, there would be different scenarios. In the first scenario, I just have the first name and the last name, and I have a space character, and I'm going to get the last name only. So I would somehow have to extract the last name from this name. And to do that, I first need to identify the position of the space character. So I'm going to use the find function, where I'm going to find the space character text within this text, and it gives me 7. And I can copy this for all these cells, and you can see this number is where the space character is. Now, all I want to do is extract everything which is after this character. And to do that, I would have to know how many characters are there after the space character. So to do that, I'm going to use the len function, and the len function gives me the total length of all the characters, and I'm going to subtract the position of the space character. So it again gives me 7 here, but if I drag this down, it tells me that there are 7 characters that are after the space character. So if I now want to extract these 7 characters here or these 6 characters here, I'm going to use the write function. And this is my text, and the number of characters that I want to extract is going to be this number here. Oh. And now when I hit the enter key, it gives me the last name, and I can drag this down, and you can see I get all the last names here. Now this formula works well, but there is one problem with this formula. If I add a middle name or an initial to these names, then this is not going to work. See what happens if I add something like an M here, then this is not going to give me the last name. It gives me everything after the first space character, and this is something that I don't want. I want this formula to find the last space character and then give me everything that is to the right of it. So this formula works well if you only have the first name or the last name, but if you have a combination where you have middle names as well, then I'll have to give you a new formula. So let me delete this, and the first thing that I need to identify in this case is how many characters or how many space characters are there in each of these names. So if there are, let's say, 2 space characters, then I would know that I need to find the second space character and extract everything after it. If there is only 1, then I just need to find the first one. So to do that, I'm going to subtract the length of this entire character, this entire cell text, and subtract that text that has no space characters. So if I do that, it is going to give me the number of space characters. So to do that, first I'm going to substitute this text here, where my old text would be a space character, and I'm going to substitute it with a blank character. So this is what it gives me. Now it has no space characters. If I find the length of this, then it gives me 15, while the length of this is 17. So if I subtract 15 from 17, I get the total number of space characters. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to use len of this minus len of a text string which has no space characters. So see what happens when I hit the enter key. It gives me 2, and if I drag this down, it gives me 1. And you can test it out. If I come here and I add, let's say, something here, then it is going to give me the total number of space characters. Now what I want to do is I want to somehow identify the last space character, because it tells me that there are 3 space characters. I want to identify the last one and extract everything that is to the right of it. So to do that, in this case, I'm again going to use the substitute function, and here in this text, I'm going to say this is the text. The old text that I want to replace is a space character. I want to replace it with something which is unique. So I'm using @sign because @sign is unlikely to be a part of a name, but you can use anything, a hash or a pipe or anything. And in the instance number, I have this value, which is the total number of space character. See what happens when I hit enter. it gives me this name where the last space character has been replaced by an @ and if I drag this down, you can see I get these for all these cells. Now all I need to do is find the position of this @ character and extract everything that is to the right of it. So again, I come here and I find the @ text within this text, and it gives me 14 here, and I can drag this down. Now I have the number. All I need to do is use the right function and extract everything that is to the right of it. So I'm going to use this text because this is where I have the name, and to get the number of characters, I'm going to simply say the length of this minus the position of the @ character, which is given by this large formula. And now when I hit enter, it gives me the last name, and I can simply drag this down. Now this works really well because if you have anything here, if you have, let's say, even double space characters or an initial, this formula is still going to work because it finds the last space character and extracts everything that is to the right of it. Now if I have to sort this data, I can simply select this data, go to the data tab here, click on sort, and here I would sort by last name and click OK, and instantly it is going to give me the result. The good thing with using a formula is that the result is dynamic. In this case, if I, let's say, I think I made a mistake and I want to change anything, then this formula would automatically change. So if I have to, let's say, I forgot that there would just be a single M here, I can simply make the change here. Of course, you would have to sort this data again in case you're making substantial changes that would change the sort order. But the good thing is that you don't have to do that process of extracting the last name again and again. So these are 3 quick methods that you can use to first extract the last name and then sort the entire data set based on the last name. That's it in this video. I hope you found this useful. Also, if you're liking these videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so that you never miss out on any new Excel tips video I come up with. Thank you and have a nice day.